Why are you so spicy? Tale is old as time. I just went to the pet store and I came home with 3 tarantulas. I was actually going to get some supplies for a video, and then I ended up going through all their tarantulas in the back, which I do all the time, but somehow I missed a couple of these species. There's one that I'm particularly worried about. It's a species I've actually never kept. Oh my God. I decided to take it home. I felt bad because it needs to be rehoused, and my friend who works there, she told me she has to go through all these and rehouse them soon, and I saw this one and I just kind of fell in love with it. First, let's make these enclosures. I've got a couple tarantula cribs that we will be using. They are the medium size, and I have this bin, and you might be like, why do you have a bin? And I'm gonna tell you, for this specific tarantula, a bin is great. I have my reasons. We'll talk about that, but let's go ahead and get these enclosures together. So both these species I've kept before. They like it dry. They're really easy to take care of. I'll just tell you, they're both Tarantulas species like my Sandiri, but yeah, one is a Darlingi, one is a Marshalli. Unfortunately, the Marshalli I had was an adult female I bought, and I had her for like years, but you know, they actually don't have like the longest lifespan. And then the Darlingi I had for like ever, up until we moved to this house. She was my first old world species ever, and actually she's the only one that passed away during the move back in September, and it was kind of like a sudden thing. It was really weird. I actually filmed her like a few weeks beforehand, and then I hadn't seen her for like a while, and I ended up digging her up, and she had molted, and it looked like it was like a really bad molt, and she passed away. And that's something that we see with like age and tarantulas. The adult females, the older they get, the more hard it is for them to molt, the more likely something will go wrong, and it did. So this substrate is a little damp for them. It just comes that way, but it will dry out. Oh, I know what I have. We have this BioBlend. The BioBlend seems to be more dry than the Reptisoil. We're gonna put in, you know, a nice amount of substrate. In my experience, they really like to web up. They don't really burrow too much. So I'm not gonna waste too much space with substrate. I wanna actually give them things to web up. So we are going to use this piece of cork bark for one, and then we have another small round we will use for the other. And since they are more on the dry side, I'm gonna add some of this kind of terrarium moss instead of the frog moss, just because this has like a lot of texture for them to web up and just move around. I actually haven't used this kind, I don't think yet, but I really like it. It's like really nice. Let's try to find more stuff for them to web up to. Like this is a good thing. We can place that in here. Yeah, that's cool. Now this is a piece of spiderwood. Spiderwood is good to use as long as you don't let it get too humid, because then it will mold. But that'll create a lot of nice anchor points for her to web to. Even though they are dry species, we are going to provide them with some water dishes. Don't really match the vibe today, but that's all right. They will serve their purpose. No, but these are really cool. Like these are great for the Tarantulas. Let me show you. As you see, lots of anchor points. There is a decent amount of substrate, but you know, again, they're probably going to web up more than they burrow. At least, again, that's been my experience. The hide is really nice. I got 2 little cork round hides for both of them, so I do feel like they'll just go in there and web it up, but they'll probably come around the perimeter and web other areas as well. And we're gonna set these aside just for now because I wanna put together the other enclosure really quick. And this is gonna be a really, really simple setup. We're gonna need a lot of Reptisoil. Like a lot. And we're gonna pack it down. We're gonna push it down so that we can get a lot in here, and so that there can be a lot of burrowing. Definitely one that loves to dig and will utilize all the space you want to give it to dig. A cork round as well. I think I'm just gonna do it like this. And bury it, you know, so it can go down here, and then that will like start its tunnel, but there's like, yeah. I have a little bit of frog moss left. We will shove that in here. Missing one very, very, very important thing for the species. And that is a water dish. And this is a species that really, really needs some higher humidity. Hence why we're using the bin. We can fit a ton of substrate in here. This specific tarantula, we don't need a display enclosure. Why? Because they're not coming out of their burrow. They are not coming out unless they're like really hungry. They're hungry or thirsty. They need to come up there, but that's the only reason. But yeah, here it is. All right, so we will save this for last. I don't want to deal with it right now. We're gonna do the Gigas first. So I'll show you the first one I saw. I was so happy. Look at this Darlingi. Oh my gosh. Now this might result in a little bit of bolting, so hopefully not. Yeah, it's definitely possible. Her web is like all up on this. Oh, she's mad. Okay. Oh my gosh, I'm stuck. Okay. I am obsessed. Like, I am literally obsessed. She is absolutely beautiful. This is the best size you can find it at. Like, I'm telling you, it's so hard to like show you sizes on camera, but she's probably about 3 inches and she is so perfect. At this phase, they start putting on size with each molt. They eat really good. They're already established, so they got past that fragile sling phase that a lot of slings honestly don't make it through. This is kind of too big. Okay, there you go. Okay. Da 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 da. Come on, I know. Oh, 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 oh. Okay, all right, all right. I'm sorry. Ah! Oh, oh. Stay, stay, stay. What lid is this? Here she is. All right. Let's keep going. So this is gonna be the enclosure for the Marshalli. And the Marshalli really badly needs a rehouse. By the way, I only paid $40 for this Marshalli. When you see the size, you're gonna be like, that's a good deal. It is, it really is. So since this is already in like a really small cup, kind of makes my life easier and harder, except I can't see into it, so I don't really know what to expect. Like, I don't know if we are like on the top. Okay, there we are. Here's the Marshalli. Insanely difficult to see, literally like the same size. They look very similar, except the Marshalli is the straight horned baboon. The Darlingi is the rear horned baboon. No, we want you to go out though. Oh, I'm so happy. I love this species. I'm so freaking glad to have it again, and this size. Again, perfect. Not a baby, but not an adult either. It's like literally great. Let's try to get closer, even though we are a little mad. Honestly, like, look at that. Beautiful. The horn is super cool. I could not pass this up. No way. So, we've come this far. Yep, there you go. Yeah. Okay. Boop, ba-doop, ba-doop, ba-doop. Yes, okay. Now for the new one that I'm super scared of. Ugh, tub of dirt. I grabbed an Gigas, okay? I've never had one, the Cameron Red Baboon. This is one that I think is like rumored to swim or something. I know Petco, he did like a really cool enclosure for one before, or it was Richard. It was one of the two, I don't know. It's kind of like not the most exciting looking tarantula, I'll admit that. Should I just like take the lid off and leave it in here and, you know, wait till it figures out it can move, or what should I do? I don't even want to put my fingers next to it, to be completely honest with you guys. These guys have a little bit of a reputation. Okay. Very, very blonde. Almost gives me like a Nandu Trepepi vibe. So here's my plan. I want to take this out and get a better look at her. I am freaking scared of her. So let me do a little bit of you know, a little bit of this. Let her know that there's a world outside of this cup. Oh, she turned around. Oh my God. We got a big old threat pose. You are spooky. Yeah, I've heard about your kind. Oh my gosh, look at her. Why are you so spicy? You are so Piscy. I knew it was coming though. I've heard about you. Not you specifically, but I know. All right, we gotta get you out of here though. Like, you have so much, you don't even know. You don't even know what all you have if you just, there you go. Yep. Okay, she's out of the cup. I acknowledge I probably made that more difficult than it needed to be, but that's all right. Look at you. So much substrate. Like, there's a lot of substrate for you to be burrowing. Honestly, I could have probably even done a bigger tub. Okay, so I have an Gigas now, my first Gigas. Well, I guess that's it for today. I go through the store's tarantulas all the time. I don't know how I missed those so many times, but I'm glad we found them today. I hope you guys enjoyed. Like this video if you did, subscribe if you're not, and you want to be. Don't forget I have an Instagram to use, probably way too much. It's at Tarantula.Kat. You can go follow me there. I also have a website. It's tarantulakat.com, and let's get into the members picks.